Hey everyone, it's Alex from cnc-o-rama again, and in our last video we created a vise that was optimized for machine simulation in Fusion, and now we have a part and we're going to look at how to load that part into the vise. So once we create our toolpaths, we got something to go with. So let's check this out. So my part's here. First thing I want to do, rather than, normally I'd go to manufacture, create my stock model and everything. Rather than do that, I want to actually model my stock as a body directly in here. So I'm going to look at my part from the top. Actually, what I want to do, I want to create an offset plane from the bottom. And normally I tend to leave like 20 thou of extra stock from on the top. So maybe I'll leave, let's see, from the top it's about 50 thou. So I'll leave it right there. So I want my offset plane to be a little bit above my part, enough so I have some stock to remove. Then I'll create a sketch on that. I'm going to do, in this case, a center rectangle. And obviously my rectangle needs to be bigger than my part. So it looks like if I do like a 2.5 square, that'll work for my stock. And then I'm going to extrude this down. Oh no, where'd my part go? So instead of cut, we want to do new body. And let's see, I'll just make this 4 inches long for now. So under bodies, I have 2 bodies. On the second body, I'm going to change the opacity control to 10%, just so actually that might be a little too light, maybe 20%. So I can still see the stock, but I can see my part is fully within that stock. Okay, so now I'm at the point where I can bring in my vise. So I can right click and insert into current design. Okay. Obviously this is angled wrong, so I'm going to carefully turn this exactly 90 degrees. And then I'm just going to bring it down below, well below the part, just so I can see everything. All right, so that's my vise. And by the way, I have, under utilities, I have display component colors turned on. That tends to just make it easier to see everything. Okay, so now I want to position this vise so it's in the correct location relative to this part. So under assemble, I can do a joint. You can also just click J on your keyboard. So I want to start by clicking this joint origin, because that's where I'm going to hold the part. And then if I just click the center of the bottom of the part, and then click OK, now my part is being held by the stock. And it's kind of coincidence. It looks like the jaws are just in the right spot. They're actually not quite right in the spot. So these jaws are still free to move. All right, so I'm going to do a move, copy. I want to make sure component is selected. I'll select the component is the jaw. Origin point, I'm going to select the edge. I actually want to make sure I'm getting like right in the center of the edge. There's a little triangle there. And then the target point, even though I'm not moving exactly to this point, I'll click that point and it brings it so it's up against that wall. And then I can do this capture position, okay. So at this point, these are still free to move, and I can do a revert position. If I really want to lock these in place, I can right click on the jaw over here and pin it. And I only need to pin one jaw because they're jointed together. All right, so my vise is set up with the part in it. Let's do one more thing. I just want to show you what I have the option of, if I come back into this extrude we did to create the stock. I just want to show you if I edit this, I can actually change the size of the stock. Maybe I want it to be 6 inches. So parametrically still works if I do that. All right, so here's one other thing you might consider doing. Let me go back to my shorter stock. I want this to be 4 inches. And then right now I have this jaw pin. I'm going to unpin this jaw, and I'm going to deliberately move these jaws in a little bit. Maybe right around there is good. And I'm going to do capture position. So that's going to be my new jaw position. And then I can even pin the jaw again. So what I want to do is combine. I'm going to do my target body is this. My tool bodies are this and this. And I want to do a cut. Let's see what that does. So I'm just going to turn off the vise here. So that worked, but now I have these weird little holes here. What I can do, I think, if I just click this face and then delete on my keyboard, that gets rid of those. And now I have something I can use to actually create that dovetail. One other thing that I've seen, so like through the Fifth Axis website, they said it's better to have a little gap at the bottom of the jaw and have the surface of the top of the jaw touching the part. If you don't do your dovetail just perfect where you're touching the bottom and the top, you don't want the gap on the top. You want the gap on the bottom, basically. That's what I'm saying. So what I could do is, I'll turn off this again. I could just extrude this surface up like, maybe I want to go negative 0.02, 20 thou up. And then if I turn back on this, now there's a little bit of a gap there. And you can play with how big that gap is, but it's definitely better to have the gap at the bottom than at the top. And then let's just look at this. If I, again, play with this, let's say I want this to be 6 inches again or whatever. It still works parametrically. So I'll undo that. And then save. So there you go. That's how you would do that. So we'll cover simulating this in the machine within the CAM workspace in the next video. So look out for that video.